Hi everyone! The topic for this video is Sigmund Freud's psychoanalytic theory. I am doing this in Taglish para mas madaling maintindihan at para mas informal ang lecture. The first concept is instincts or drives. According to Sigmund Freud, behaviors aim to reduce tension. Saan ba nanggagaling ang tension? It comes from instincts or drives. Such instinct or drive is eros, and the energy associated with eros is the libido. Sa maraming tao, pag narinig na nila yung eros at libido, ang iniisip na nila sex drive. Mali yun. Actually, eros and libido include all instincts that are related to survival or self-preservation. For example, when we feel hungry, we experience tension, di ba? So anong gagawin natin? Kakain tayo at bumababa yung tension. Pag tayo nauuhaw, nakaka-experience din tayo ng tension. So anong gagawin natin? Iinom tayo at bababa yung tension. That is why eros is also called the life instinct. Later on, na-realize siguro ni Sigmund Freud na hindi lahat ng behaviors ay ma-explain ng life instinct or eros. So nagdagdag siya. And this is the thanatos or the death drive. Death drive or thanatos includes aggressive, risk-taking, and harmful behaviors to the self and others. Example, nagma-mountain climbing ka. Importante ba yan sa self-preservation? Hindi naman, di ba? In fact, you are putting yourself at risk. Kaya yan ay kasama sa death drive or thanatos. O kaya, ikaw ay nagmamaneho ng kotse, 200 kilometers per hour. Hindi rin yan kasama sa self-preservation. You are courting death actually. So, yan ay kasama sa death drive. The second concept is levels of consciousness. Ito yung tinawag ni Freud na topography of the mind, and according to him, the mind consists of 3 levels: the conscious, the preconscious, and the unconscious. First is the conscious, which consists of all the materials that we are aware of at a given moment. For example, tinanong kita, what is your name? Masasagot mo, kasi nasa conscious yun. How old are you? Nasa conscious din yan. Sa preconscious naman, yung mga materials that are not readily available but may be retrieved with some trigger or effort. Example, may nakasalubong ka na dati mong kakilala, classmate mo noong high school. Hindi mo na maalala yung pangalan niya, pero nahihiya kang tanungin kung ano ang kanyang name. So, usap kayo ng usap, dadaldalan, until finally, naalala mo yung pangalan niya. Kasi, yung material na nagkukunti ng kanyang name ay nandoon sa preconscious. Na-trigger dahil sa pag-uusap ninyo, kaya nakarating doon sa conscious. The unconscious consists of all the materials that are buried deeply and are therefore not available. Bakit pa masyadong malalim ang pagkakabaon dito sa mga materials na to? Para hindi makarating doon sa conscious level. Bakit kailangan na i-prevent? Kasi, pag sobrang dami ng materials na nandun sa conscious level, ang tendency ma-overwhelm. Parang computer na binuksan mo ang pagkarami-raming programs. Hindi maganda ang pag-function, di ba? So, ganun din dun sa self natin, sa ating conscious. Also, may mga materials na disturbing. Pangit yung mga experiences mo, yung mga memories nun, ay kailangang ibaon mo kasi tataas ang iyong anxiety. Pag nakabaon yan, hindi ka nagiging aware, kaya bumababa ang anxiety mo. One important thing to remember is that the preconscious prevents entry of material from the unconscious into the conscious. But when we are asleep or relaxed, content of the unconscious may reach our conscious. Parang isipin mo ang preconscious ay isang checkpoint. Hindi makadaan yung content ng unconscious kasi merong gwardiya. Pero pag umalis yung gwardiya, ano mangyayari doon, yung mga unconscious material ay pwede makarating doon sa conscious level. So, ang mga dreams natin, pwedeng may sinasabi yan. Kasi nakarelax ang preconscious, kaya ang content ng unconscious ay nakakapunta sa conscious. For example, meron kang kaibigan na love mo naman siya, kaya lang, madalas mo napapanaginipan na siya ay sinasaktan mo. Ano kayang ibig sabihin yan? Pwede na meron kang hidden hostilities na hindi mo ma-release sa kanya, kaya pag natutulog ka ay lumalabas, pero hindi ka aware doon. We also have to remember that although we are not aware of the content of the unconscious, it still affects us. For example, naranasan niyo na ba yung meron kang bagong kakilala tapos mabigat na ang dugo mo agad sa kanya, wala naman siyang ginagawa na masama sa'yo? Pwede kasi na ang dahilan ay nire-remind ka niya ng isang tao na kakilala mo in the past na actually hindi mo na natatandaan ngayon, pero masama ang experience mo doon sa tao na yon. For example, kamukha pala nung yaya mo nung ikaw ay baby pa at yung yaya mo na yon ay madalas na sinasaktan ka, kinukurot ka at pinapalo ka. Hindi mo na natatandaan lahat ng yan, pero naaapektuhan pa rin ang reaction mo, dito sa tao na to. Kasi although it is found in the unconscious, it will still affect our behavior. In summary, the topography of the mind may be represented by an iceberg. Unconscious is represented by the tip of the iceberg which is visible above the water. Visible kasi aware tayo dun sa content ng conscious. At makikita natin, maliit lang yan. Yung pre-conscious ay mas maliit pa, it's the part of the iceberg just below the surface. Medyo naaanilag natin pero hindi completely visible. Unconscious naman ay yung vast submerged portion. Hindi natin nakikita kasi hindi tayo aware kung ano ang laman yan, pero napakalaki ng ating unconscious. Bago tayo mag-proceed, kung di pa kayo nakasubscribe, please click the subscribe button now. Thank you. The third concept is parts of the self. According to Freud, the self consists of three parts: the id, the ego, and the superego. Let's first consider the id. When a baby is born, ang id lang ang meron siya. And this is derived from the word id kasi parang animal lang yung isang newborn eh. Wala siya yung mga maraming mga human characteristics. Ano ang meron siya? Urges and instincts that demand immediate gratification. Ang tawag dito ay pleasure principle. Kung anong gusto niya, kailangang makuha niya right now. I want it now. Kaya pag ang baby ay nagugutom, iiyak siya, wala siyang pakialam kung nakakaistorbo siya, kung katutulog pa lang na nanay niya, puyat lahat ng mga tao, basta ang kailangan niya ay makuha niya ang gusto niya, which is milk. I want it now. And the id is found in the unconscious. Ang ego naman, nagde-develop yan in the first 3 years of life at ito yung sense of self. Pag wala pang ego ang isang baby, hindi niya ma-differentiate ang sarili niya from the environment. Hindi niya alam kung saan nag-e-end ang katawan niya at nagsisimula yung environment. Kaya pag nagbre-breastfeeding siya, akala niya yung breast ng nanay ay part pa rin ng sarili niya. Pero pag siya ay meron ng ego, nakakaya na niya ma-differentiate ang sarili niya sa environment niya. And the ego also allows for delayed gratification. This is the reality principle. Diba ang id is governed by the pleasure principle? I want it now. Pero ang ego, reality principle yan, I want it, but I can wait. Napaka-importante nito. Tingnan natin kung anong application. One of the earliest application is in toilet training. Pag ang bata ay nakakaramdam ng urge to defecate, magde-defecate yan kung hindi pa siya toilet trained. Hindi siya naghihintay. Kasi merong tension pag ikaw ay merong urge at kailangang i-release yung tension by means of defecating. So it provides pleasure. Nakaka-obtain ng relief, di ba? Kaya ayaw niya maghintay. Pero pag govern mo na siya ng reality principle, pwede na siyang i-toilet train. Pwede niyang i-delay yung gratification brought about by emptying of the bowels in order to get a greater gratification, which is the approval of the parent. Yan ang reality principle. This is primarily conscious but may also operate in the other levels. Sa superego naman, dalawang components niyan. Ego ideal tells us what we should be. Conscience tells us what we should not be. So for example, nasa ego ideal mo, kailangan honest ka. Nandaya ka doon sa exam. So ano mangyayari ngayon sa conscience mo? Sasabihin sa iyo ng conscience mo, uy, mali yung ginawa mo ah. Kaya ano ang magiging feeling mo? Guilty. On the other hand, yung classmate mo naman, ang ego ideal niya, walang honesty. Instead, ang nandoon, kailangan madiskarte siya. Nandaya rin siya. Anong sasabihin ng conscience niya? Wala. Kasi wala naman siyang violate na rule dun sa kanyang ego ideal and conscience. Instead, matutuwa siya. Hindi siya magiging guilty kasi ang isipin niya, uy, ang galing ko talaga. Ang galing ng diskarte ko, tama yung aking cheating strategies. Kaya magkaiba ang magiging reaction based on the superego. This starts at about age 5 and it operates in all levels of consciousness. How do the parts of the self relate to one another? The id and the superego are in perpetual conflict with each other. Magkaaway sila. Ang sinasabi ng id, I want it now. And what does the superego say? No, that's wrong. Papasok naman yung ego at yan na nagme-mediate between the id and the superego. And in addition, the ego considers reality. Kaya bali tatlo yung kinoconsider ng ego. Yung demands ng id, yung rules galing sa superego, at yung reality of the situation. Apply natin. Merong cake na nakadisplay doon sa bakery. Nakita mo, so anong sabi ng iyong id? I want that cake. I want it now. I'm going to eat it now. Parang devil na nando sa iyong shoulder at nagsasabi, kunin mo na yan. Kakainin ko na. Pero sa kabilang shoulder mo naman, merong angel, yung super ego. At ang sinasabi niya ay, uy, mali yun. Huwag mong gagawin yun. Kasalanan yun. Nakukuha ka ng hindi naman sa'yo. Ano naman ang gagawin ng ego? Titingnan niya kung ano ang reality ng situation, di ba? So, di ba kailangan bilhin mo yung cake para makain mo? So, ang gagawin ay, uy, tingnan mo kung meron kang pera. So, tingnan mo, open your wallet, kulang ang iyong pera. So, i-judge mo ngayon, magsaside ka ba sa id, magsaside ka ba sa super ego, or are you going to do something else? You decided, hindi mo kukunin yung cake na yon, pero gusto mo pa rin kainin yung cake. Ang maa-afford mo lang ay isang slice. Kaya bumili ka ng isang slice ng cake at masaya ka na. Yan ang function ng ego. Nagme-mediate between the id and the superego at gumagawa ng mga decisions also based on the reality of the situation. And because the ego does its functions, it's important to protect the ego. How to protect it? By means of ego defense mechanisms. So I want to invite you, watch my videos on defense mechanisms.